Hi everyone, and welcome to MoteCon 2022. This year, as some of you will likely have heard, we are doing things a little bit differently, and to build some excitement in the week leading up to MoteCon, we are hosting our first pre-conference. Today I am joined by two great friends and wonderful gentlemen of EdTech, Jason Sanders and Peter Horner. So I'll allow them to introduce themselves. First of all, over to you, Jason.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jason Sanders. I'm the Director of Instructional Technology for Northwest Independent School District, which is a school district in Justin, Texas, just north of Fort Worth.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. And over to you, Peter.
Yeah, hi, everyone. My name is Peter Horner, and I'm the IT Manager and Digital Learning Lead at Barton Peveril Sixth Form College, located in Hampshire in England.
And I should add that Peter is just down the road from me. So it is great to have you both here with me today. I'm going to kick off with some questions. And what we're going to be doing today is looking to try to get some insight into your role and to how you help support the wider learning community to make those decisions that help teachers, students, and also parents. So jumping in here, I'm just going to ask Jason, if I could start with you, please. Could you just share something about the digital ecosystem at Northwest ISD, please?
Sure, John. Yeah, we're a pretty robust school district. We've luckily had a working learning management system for over a decade in the school district. We're one-to-one K through 12 with Chromebooks for students, and then teachers have a Dell Windows laptop as well as an iPad. So we're pretty robust in terms of providing the infrastructure necessary to access different digital tools and things of that nature. Additionally, we utilize Canvas as our LMS starting this year at the secondary level, Seesaw at the elementary level, and we use some Google Classroom on the side. So we have Google, we have Microsoft, we have all the fun things.
There is lots going on there, Jason. Thank you. And how about yourself, Peter? Are you able to share something about the ecosystem at Barton?
Sure. So we're using Google throughout the college. Every teacher gets a professional series Chromebook for use for teaching, whether it's in-person or remote lessons. We also give out one-to-one devices to students. We've got shared devices as well. And we've got students bringing in their own devices. So a real mix of different devices, but Google and I guess Mote as well is one thing that unifies them all.
So lots of the people joining us for MoteCon are going to be classroom teachers, and they perhaps might not necessarily know about all of the wonderful things that you guys do in your roles. Now, I know from visiting yourself, Peter, that there are some things that you really enjoy about your role, and it'd be great just to hear two or three of those, please.
Yeah, sure, John. So the number one thing I like about my job is it gives me a freedom to explore lots of different technology, see how it works for learning, and run different pilots within the college. When we're trying out new bits of tech. So yeah, that's probably one of the most exciting things about my role. And the other thing I really like is the ability to make changes and see that benefit our students further down the road and really make their learning experience better. So yeah, a couple of things I really like about my role.
Brilliant. Cheers, Peter. And just to clarify, how many students do you actually have at Barton Peveril?
Yeah, sure. So we've got about 4,500 students. We're expecting to recruit even more this year. So wouldn't be surprised if we'd be hitting 5,000 one day.
And for anyone not familiar with the further education system over here in the UK, those students tend to be what sort of age, Peter?
Yeah, so we're a sixth form college and our students are 16 to 18 and studying A-levels in a wide variety of subjects.
Awesome. Cheers, Peter. And what about yourself, Jason? Is there anything that stands out to you as something that you really love about your role?
Honestly, I think the best thing, and it may sound kind of disingenuous, but really the best thing about my job is the people that I get to work with. The people that I work with are people that really care about students and that really cared about teaching and learning, and they are the ones that are making sure that they're going out there and making sure those things are happening for people. So the team that I get to work with of instructional technologists, as well as my boss and the people around me, are really the thing that get me up and going every morning. And then on top of that, the other thing that I really enjoy about my position is that I'm always learning. I was always learning when I was a teacher because students ask good questions, but adults ask really, really difficult questions sometimes. So it's nice. I'm always learning more in my position.
Yeah, and I should say that one of the highlights of my recent trip to Dallas for the TCA conference was to meet with yourself and the rest of the team. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to make a return to see you out in, I think it's going to be San Antonio next year. So I hope to be seeing you all then as well, Jason.
Yeah, we've already got some presentations slated for TCA for next year, so hopefully we'll see you there.
Fantastic. Maybe that's something you should push for, Peter. It's a trip for Barton to go out to Texas in 2023.
Definitely, I've got my fingers crossed.
So, as a former teacher myself, I didn't really stray into the sort of network management side of things too much, or to even the last year, I had some opportunity to explore the Google Admin Console. But could you just share a little bit about how the typical school year would look for yourself in your current role, as opposed to those colleagues of yours that might be the classroom teachers?
I think for myself, it's interesting because there are times of the year where I'm definitely as busy as teachers in classrooms, but there's other times of the year where it's very different for me. So, for example, beginning of school is very busy for me, just like it is for teachers as they're getting up and geared up. But it's busy for me from the last day of the previous year until the first day of the next year. A lot of people, I think, assume that during the summer we're like, yay, we get to get a lot of stuff done. But no, really, we're like closing up shop. We're setting up all the syncs that need to happen for the next school year. We're looking at all the back end pieces that need to be changed, renewed, resubscribed, servers that need to be upgraded. Just the amount of things that have to happen, I think, would literally blow some people's minds. And so just the amount of work that has to be done during that time versus teachers, which that time is really a time for them to get recharged and things like that, is very different. Whereas like at the end of a semester, when teachers are having finals or having end of course exams and like really trying to get the grades in and stuff like that, that's actually a pretty quiet time for me in comparison to the rest of the school year, because everybody who needs help is too busy to reach out for those sorts of things. So they're, doing their own thing during that time. So it's interesting because there's definitely some similarities, but some differences.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. Just as you were speaking, I could see that Peter was nodding a couple of times there. So Peter, does what Jason say resonate with you over here in the UK?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Jason's summer holidays is incredibly busy. A holiday, yeah, right. That's a holiday. Yeah, I did manage to squeeze in a holiday, but I come back to loads of work now. We've got hundreds of Chromebooks and PC to deploy, doing network upgrades. We're doing things like making our network and Wi-Fi and internet connectivity a lot more resilient, because obviously it's so important now and we can't ever let that go down. It's got to be up 24/7. Yeah, it's really busy throughout the year now, just with different things. I guess the quietest time for me is probably leading up to Christmas. That time isn't too busy, but yeah, the rest of the year is pretty fun. We've always got a new project on, and I think it's just where IT now is just so essential to every single college service. We don't really, get any downtime.
It's a 24/7, 365 days a year role. But one of the things that you both mentioned is that there is lots of the opportunities over the summer are to prepare things for the new school year. So both for teachers and for your students. You mentioned a couple of challenges. One of those things that I'm particularly interested in is like when you are choosing digital tools to support your learning community, what are the steps that you take and that you would recommend others take that might be starting out this particular journey? So if we think about tool selection, how would you go about that, Peter?
So it normally starts either with me finding something cool or one of my teachers finding something. And at our college, I lead our digital learning group, which is made up of teachers and support staff from across college. So normally when I find something cool or someone else does, I hand it over to them to explore it more, try it out in the classroom, get their student feedback and take it from there. So that's worked well for us. We did that with Google Classroom all those years ago. We've done it with Mote and other tools. And I think, it always just works well, starting small. And normally, if it's a good tool, we'll spread organically from there. Sometimes with a little push from us.
Cheers, Peter. And so you were mentioning about finding out about tools, or that you might come across tools. I actually put a little ticker on the screen there because I know that you're quite a fan of using Twitter and connecting with other people, and not only similar roles to yourself, but finding out about things that different teachers are doing in other parts of the world. Is that something that you would be an advocate for everyone getting involved with?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I only joined Twitter probably about 3 years ago, and in that time I've learned so many things, connected with lots of great people, and yeah, found many great tools to bring back to our college. So absolutely recommend joining Twitter and just connecting with people and finding out what works well at other schools and colleges.
Thanks ever so much, Peter. And if I were to ask the same question for you, Jason, like, are there any standout strategies that you would recommend to people that are trying to find the best fit digital tools for their school and for their wider community?
Yeah, when we think about digital tools, we always think about the need first, and like, what is the goal? What is our learning goal, and what can get us to that? So I'm lucky enough that we have a team of campus-based instructional technologists. We have about 28,000 students in our school district and a little over 3,000 staff members. So unfortunately, I don't get out there enough to learn about what the new cool thing is. But luckily, I have a team of people that is ready and willing to tell me when they think something is cool and worth my time, such as Mote. Just a couple of years ago, when one of my team members was like, "You should really look at Mote," and I'm like, "I don't know if we can afford Mote," and I was like, "Oh, we should probably afford Mote." So that's how actually I got introduced to Mote by Kelly on our team, and so that's pretty amazing. But she got introduced to it by a teacher in a classroom that found a need for it, and so it's one of those things where there's just such a plethora of tools available on the internet now, and there's so many that overlap and they can do multiple things. But really realistically, it's a combination of, one, what is the need? Two, how does this tool meet the need, and what can it do beyond that? Like, how does it take us a step further in learning? And then three, obviously on the business end, it depends on the cost at the end of it, because there's, for example, I won't name it, but there's a tool that a lot of teachers in my district are interested in, and they consistently ask if we ever plan on purchasing it, and the answer is no, because it costs 3 times as much as all the other tools that I purchased combined. And I'm like, Nope, we won't be doing that. So.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like there are definitely some parallels there. I'd actually forgotten quite the scale of your district, Jason. So you mentioned over 20,000 students and 3,000 members of teaching staff.
We're going to go over 30,000 students by the end of the year. We grow by 2,500 students a year. We're one of the top 5 growing districts in Texas now. So we're consistently growing at a quick rate. We opened 5 schools next year, so it's going to be a trip.
That's great. It's super impressive, and I think it's really great to hear about. I know that you've got a teaching background yourself, and just I know that one of the biggest challenges when you're bringing out any tool, it doesn't just have to be digital, but is presenting it in a way to your teaching colleagues that they can. That the purpose resonates with them, that it isn't perceived as being like, oh, here's just another techie tool. It's like, this is a tool that I can use to better my practice and to help the learners that I have in my classroom. So I think that the word need that you stressed a couple of times there is really, really great. Thank you. So you both mentioned Mote, and you are both from institutions. So we have NISD and then Barton that has seen much success with the use of Mote. Are you able to explain some of the ways in which Mote has worked particularly well for members of the schools that you work with? And if we start with Jason.
Sure. Well, one of the big things that spoke to us about Mote was a need. Number one, I mean, honestly, the first thing that it spoke to us was it just fulfilled a need in making sound and audio more easily accessible in Google Slides. But that was just like the first step and stair step into what we realized was a multifaceted tool that could really be utilized in terms specifically in grades 3 through 5 for literacy and ELA, and just for oral administration in math and science. Just across the board, there were a lot of uses for the tool, and we just have had a lot of success recently in the last year, just really highlighting it. We presented it at a district leadership PLC where we got assistant principals in using the tool, as well as 2 other tools that we purchased, really with that focus of how can we promote literacy in the classroom and how these digital tools can help increase the learning in those areas. So literacy has been a focus of our entire school district for the last couple of years with our superintendent's goals. And so Mote has really, really helped us with those goals. And we just have consistently had training on it through professional development with our team, and we model it. We model it and show it to other people and just show them, how great of a tool it can be. So by modeling and making sure that we're using it to support those goals, we've had some good success, and we're hoping to grow more teacher usage into this year.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jason. And that was great as well, because I know that you were speaking there to the pedagogical perspective. So how you've effectively look to make Mote stick with some really, really good examples. If I were to ask Peter, so the same question, what are some of the ways that you have deployed Mote, or that you have shared Mote, perhaps from a more technical perspective to that which Jason was just sharing, perhaps through the Google Admin Console, for those that might not be familiar with that?
Yeah, sure. So Mote is a Chrome extension, which makes it really easy to deploy. All we had to do was just select the top level OU, push out Mote, and then all of our students and staff could see it in the Chrome browser and access it really easily. We started off, I guess, Mote gained the most traction in our humanities and English departments. Those teachers really liked it. It saved them loads of time, and the feedback from students is they really liked hearing their teachers' voices, particularly when we were locked down and weren't able to teach in person. So that's where it started for us, and it quickly spread from there. So we now have pretty much every department using Mote. And I guess one of the other things, one of the other departments who really helped us promote Mote was our learning support department. They're really big advocates for it, as it really makes getting teacher feedback a lot more accessible for our students who have learning needs. So they've been really big advocates for Mote. And going back to the first departments who tried it out, one of the things I got them to do was record some 1-minute bite-sized videos about how they're using it, so I could share those out on our digital learning site to give other teachers insights into that. And I think that was a really good move and helped kind of help the other teachers see the benefit of Mote. So highly recommend getting some teachers, not necessarily the most techie, but just anyone who's enjoying using it and finding benefits from using it, to just record a short video and share it.
And I think that's often one of the best stories, or some of the best stories rather, come from sometimes from those colleagues that have just fallen in love with a tool because it has a particular use case for them, or it solves a problem that they've been looking to solve, and they've had like a kind of like a patchwork solution before, but then they stumble across a tool, whether it's Mote or otherwise, that just really hits for them, and it's so hard to replicate, and certainly to imitate the passion that teachers speak of when they're sharing like that. So that's a really good example. And actually, so Peter mentioned that some of his team were producing minute-long videos. If you want to access some minute-long videos, we have a YouTube channel with a playlist called Mote Minutes, which is open to everyone. The only thing that I'd make an apology for there is you do have to hear my voice rather a lot of times, but apart from that, it's a pretty decent set of videos. So just over to you, Jason, as we start to wrap things up here. So Peter mentioned a couple of the areas of his college where Mote had got some really good usage. So the learning support department, and then also in the humanities. Are there any particular areas of life at NISD where you just think Mote has had a particularly big impact here, or is it across the board?
I think the largest impact so far would be at our elementary schools, definitely in the 3 to 5 grade range. We've had a lot of teachers jump on board there, supporting those pre-mentioned literacy goals, as well as some math and science teachers. So one of our focuses moving into this year is really just trying to highlight in the secondary area where we can showcase. So secondary here is 6 through 12. So that way we can showcase to those, older student teachers, like how they can utilize Mote in order to give actionable feedback, maybe more quickly than they could otherwise. And so that way it'll be, because with secondary teachers, a lot of times you got to be like, here's how this can make your life easier, because that's your way in to win with them. So we want to try to highlight those pieces for them. But we're not above using emotional blackmail, like someone on my team used her adorable 3-year-old daughter's voice on a Mote at the beginning of all her PDs this summer that just said, "Hope you learn lots today." It's just like, oh, nicely done. So, so we're going to try to get in there and show them all the good things it can do, whether it be fun things, whether it be those deep learning pieces, because the tool is very multifaceted.
And on that note, I just want to say a huge thank you to you both for joining us in the MoteCon pre-conference 2022. So some of the ideas that you have shared, some of your wisdom, I'm sure is resonating with people that are going to be watching this on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever it is. Are there any particular ways in which people would be able to reach out and connect with you both? If we go to Peter.
Yeah, so as John mentioned earlier, I'm really active on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @PeterG.Horner. So yeah, tweet me on there, and I'd love to connect.
Perfect. And would that be the same for you, Jason? People are okay to reach out with you on Twitter, or is there perhaps another social network that you are using?
Yeah, Twitter is likewise the best for me as far in terms of a professional learning community. I feel like Twitter is a great place for teachers and educators to go just to learn more, connect with other people. So yeah, I'm @ScienceSanders on Twitter if anybody wants to connect there.
Thank you both so much. And I've just got a little ticker going across at the bottom there. So having shared both of your socials, if you want to join in the MoteCon conversation, you can jump onto your social platform of choice, #MoteCon, and we will be there eagerly waiting to hear from you and any ideas that you might be wanting to share or to learn from. But until next time, it's been a pleasure to speak with you both. Thank you so much again for taking the time out of your very busy summers, and looking forward to seeing everyone else for some awesome sessions in the pre-conference and MoteCon itself. Thanks, everyone.